Now the other day the wife said to me, where I'm going so bald and with my fat head, I'm going to need a large toupee. So I said, right then, and I went out and got myself a Bigwig. So here it is, the unboxing. Here's the cover. This is the hard bit. It's trying to get it in. There we go, we'll do it like that. It shows it in the white and the blue. And when I see these in real life, the dark blue I'm not a huge fan of, because this don't really look totally like an opaque blue to me. So we're doing something with that, but that'll be on the painting stage. On the side it shows you the layout and the big battery tray, and I'm going to try and fit a big battery in it. I've got this Traxxas lying around which I don't use, and I thought, yeah, this will utilise it. And on the other side, a photograph of the very interesting chassis, because this chassis is so different to any other Tamiya really I've built in so many ways. Now in the box we get the manual. I've been in, so that's why things are slightly out of order. Now the first bag we got here is like some bumper bit, well, some roll bits, I don't know what they're for. There's a tray of some sort, hubs, and a big bumper. But then it is a big wig. Then we got this bag, which is the rollover bit. It's a flexible plastic, that's good. There's exhaust bits and everything, it's all got to be built. That's the cover, I know, for the rack and pinion steering, which I think is super cool. Motorsport decals we got sent. Here we got front wishbone parts. Well, these are different to anything else I've seen. They're in design like the Hot Shot Boomerang, but no, they're different. Then we got this bag. These are uprights, rear hubs, another part of the rack and pinion, isn't it? Yep. There's the actual rack and pinion cog there if you look. And we got some rear wishbones, hard plastic. It's the only shame they're a bit hard. You know, I like it when they use the softer plastics, but it's what is with this car. That is some sort of battery cover I had to look up. A slightly different driver figure to what we're used to. But like I said, we'll find out. The helmet is slightly different. It's got like little vents on it. They should paint up nice. Then we got front, rear gearbox cases. Very much the way the motor is spaced is very much like the Hot Shot. Part of the suspension parts all in nice yellow. I know not everyone likes the yellow shocks, but I love them. Some nice tyres, the oval blocks. Two different sizes. We've got thinner on the front, fatter on the rear. I don't know whether they're the same as Hot Shot, probably are. But I've got nothing to compare them to at the moment. We've got some dish wheels, and the wording's actually in the wheels. So we might have to try and do something with them. Then we've got the big body. There's a couple of venti bits under here. They've cut out this rear hole for us, which is, I think, a godsend, because that would be quite something to cut out. But it doesn't look too hard to cut, but you've got to make sure you get it right. One thing, you don't want to make a mistake. The holes are done for the roll bar, so that saves a job. Always nice. Then we got the very wide tub chassis, and we've got some engine bits on the back. you see that? So we'll see if we can make them look a little bit nicer. We've got a plastic antenna and two springy metal ones. I don't know whether to fit them or not. Are they better or not on a rollover? Can they actually do more damage than not? We will see how they fit. The other bag of shock parts. So that's all the shocks. We've got plenty of them to build, as usual. And that is that. Here's the decal sheet. Quite surprisingly, not really that many. Well, one of the early things when you do the body, you've got to cut out the two long ones, because you've got to lay them on the inside of the body to work out where to run the masking tape for the two-tone. And as you don't get masks, it doesn't help. And then in this box, let's get rid of this big one. Oh. Well, let's zoom in a bit. Here's the last box of goodies, and at the top, let's get this out. This bit I'm really interested in. Normally you'll get a silver can or a torque tune with a Tamiya motor, but this is a GT tuned Bigwig version. Where am I going? That way. Look at that. It's even got the car on it. I think that's so cool. Oops, drops it. You know, a rebuildable motor. That is super nice. You know, like I said, I've never had one of these. So that is really, really cool. Chuffed with that. Then we've got differential gear bags and transfer gears. Different front hubs, even though it comes with a set in the bag. The rest, the servo saver parts. Then we've got baggy, which is some tape, some screws and body pins, so that must be for the body build. D, we've got shock absorbers. We've got some thread lock. I'm out of the red one, so that's useful. And it's fully buildable shocks. You've got all the O-rings and the dreaded E-clips, which in your lifetime you'll ping. And then you get a huge, where am I? Huge bag of foam. And two gaiters for the steering. They'll be fun to fit. Never, like I said, never done anything quite like that. Then bag B is drive shafts, basically balls and things like that, so whatever that part is. And then the bag A is building the gearboxes. You've got all the differential, but the cool thing about this kit, it comes with bearings, so that's quite pleasing. Now the manual, usual, a nice manual, nice and easy to follow. We've got bags to follow and all that, but we'll go more into this as and when. You know, like I said, bag B is suspension, bag A is gearboxes, bag C padding out the chassis for the battery, doing the electrics and the steering, and fitting the gearboxes to the chassis. And then D is, as I said, guess through the bag, shock absorbers, front bumper, wheels and tyres, and then bag E, as guessed again, body. And like I said, it's quite involved, the body, because of the marking off. And like I said, the easiest way, in my opinion, is to hold the tape the decal in place on the inside and then put your line in on the outside to get it in this. I think you need it as central as possible, because you can't afford to make a mistake with that. Well, it's not so bad this end, but at that end there is quite a difference. There's only a very thin piece of decal. And then the usual end part about what to do, what not to do, and all your spares. So I hope you like this. This is going to be the Bigwig build, and I'm really looking forward to it.